Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'll be reviewing The Munsters. So The Munsters is a reboot done by Rob Zombie, and it really is trying to, reimagine, recapture that 1960s show, and the films went along with it, and kind of, I guess, feel like capitalize and bring that back into like the limelight. And I have to say, for the most part, it's a big miss. First thing that obviously can be pointed out in this movie is that it doesn't look really good at all. A lot of the movie looks like it's like, they threw together some stuff from Spirit Halloween. There are some good prosthetics and there's some good sets and some good things thrown in between, but too much of it looks too cheesy. And sometimes movies are self-aware and it wants to look like a B movie. That's completely understandable. But there's some times in this movie where it's so distracting with how bad it looks and how just awkward and clunky this movie moves along. The movie follows Herman and Lily and how they meet, how they come to be together. It follows them getting their house in Mockingbird Heights and kind of setting up where they are in the series. But I just feel like it doesn't capture any of the charm and magic of the original series. I feel like Rob Zombie had good intentions doing it. There are some glimmers of something you could enjoy if you were a fan of this franchise, but too much of it just falls flat. I think the casting it's okay. Sherry Moon Zombie is okay as Lily. I think Jeff Daniel Phillips isn't fantastic as Herman Munster. He's okay. Daniel Roebuck is pretty good as the Count. I think he's a little bit of a standout. He's kind of steals the show when he's on there. He has some of the more funnier moments in this. And that's one of the things about it is that it feels like it should be funny. Like when you're watching the trailers and you're seeing it, this looks really bad. Maybe it's going to lean into that. It's going to be kind of self-aware and be just kind of goofy the whole time. It never really gets there. It feels like it's working a lot on kind of the classic comedy of the Munsters, but it just doesn't have the charm and it doesn't have the execution of that. So a lot of it just leaves you just kind of puzzled with the decisions they've made. There's probably a handful of actually like pretty funny moments, but a lot of it's just kind of dragging along and it's just a series of scenes. It doesn't feel like a cohesive story. It's just kind of one thing happening into another thing, and it just nothing about it just feels like this movie needed to be made. And another weird thing about it is it feels like it doesn't capitalize on the time period of the Munsters. This movie does feel very ambiguous about when it's supposed to take place. It may have mentioned it a time or two, but for me, I was kind of guessing like, what's the timeline of this and what's happening? And just a lot of it just doesn't really flow really well. It feels like I said, it's like a good intentioned love letter to the Munsters that just wasn't well executed. It obviously didn't have the budget it needed. It probably didn't have the time to be put together the way it should have been done. So it's kind of it's not hitting any of the right audiences. I feel like the older people actually watched this movie with my father, who is like a huge Munsters fan, and he was really disappointed in it. And then there's me, who's kind of been introduced to these characters when I was a little kid, but I haven't like seen them a long time. It's kind of was like revisiting it for me. It kind of just left a bad taste in my mouth too. So I don't know. It's just overall, I feel like it's a lot of misses. Some of the elements of it work, a lot of them don't. So it's just overall, it was really disappointing. So if I were to rate The Munsters, I would give it a 2 out of 10. Like I said, it's more disappointing than anything. It's one of those movies that skirts along the line of being so bad it's good, but for the most part, it's just really bad. So again, probably just skip it. If you're the fan of the Munsters, maybe check it out, or if you're just morbidly interested with all the discord around it being bad. So if you want to check it out, go do that. But if you have seen it, let me know what you thought about it. Maybe you really liked it. I would love to hear someone's opinion who like really enjoyed this movie. Maybe there's something I missed about it, or it just wasn't made for me. Remember to leave those comments down below. Remember to like and subscribe. And see you guys next time.